Bam, how are you, bud?
Yo, what's good, brother?
Good. So we're gonna come by and pick you up right now.
All right, for sure, I'm here.
All right, see you in 2 minutes.
Bless.
Bless. Hey, welcome to Locals Only. I'm Eric Hale, and if you don't know me, I'm the guy that founded Local Magazine 14 years ago in my garage. It's been my job for all those years to tell you the coolest places to eat in all of Southern California, fun things to do so you have date nights that aren't boring, and we've talked to some really interesting people. Now we have a podcast, and we're lucky enough to call this Mercedes-Benz EQE all-electric sedan, courtesy of Fletcher Jones Motorcars in Newport Beach, our mobile podcast studio. So sit back, buckle up, and enjoy the conversation. Welcome to Locals Only. Today we are picking up Bambaataa Marley, Bob Marley's oldest grandson in Little Ethiopia, and we're going to be cruising all over Mid-City, talking to him about whether or not talent is genetic. We're going to talk to him about his art, we're going to talk to him about his upcoming projects, and even find out his favorite LA football club. And by football, I mean soccer. So sit back, buckle up, and enjoy Locals Only. There you go. See? It's good, man. It's been a minute.
How you feeling?
It's been a minute. How are you?
I'm good,
You
man.
remember Aaron, right?
Of course, man. How you been, bro?
Man, I've been real good.
That's
I've been
up.
real good.
I love that.
So we're already recording, man. We're in the car with Bam or Bambaataa Marley. I know there's a few more names.
There's a few more,
Few
but
more
those
names
are
in
the
there.
two we're rocking with right now. You know what I mean?
What's your first name?
My first name is Daniel Bambaataa.
Daniel.
Maybe we don't want to put that out there, though. That's what he was saying.
It's calm.
No one's like,
It's calm. It's slash, so it's all one name.
Yeah.
I like
Yes.
Either way, talking about names, I mean the Marley name is out there big right now, right?
Oh man.
I mean, it's been big for a
But
lot
no,
of years.
it's you know, it's like a pot that's boiling, and now the temperature is high, so it's boiling more with the
Yeah.
movie and stuff. So it's epic times.
yeah,
I
it
would
is.
say.
It's really good times.
It's fun as hell.
Yeah. What have you experienced anything with the movie? First of all, you've seen the movie, right?
Few times.
A few times. And
Few
what do you
times.
give it on
I would say-
accuracy?
I mean, how accurate can you know, let's just watch a movie.
If it
That's
is
my vibe.
entertaining, right?
So I'm like,
Yeah.
as far as watching a movie, I'm not looking for it to be like such this true story or whatever. Everything is fact.
Yeah.
There's no lies in the movie.
Yeah.
But you know, some people want it to go deeper. But I feel like it's a good movie in terms of entertainment.
Yeah.
You get me? And in that regards, I mean, epic movie. The
Yeah.
styling, the fashion, for all the things I like from a movie, the scenery, just being like so scenic, visually appealing, the clothes being fire, the costume, the wardrobe, everything. To me, that's what makes it epic, yeah.
Yeah.
And the acting as well. I mean, Kingsley did a great job in my eyes, As far as an actor goes, to play Bob is hard, and I think he did great. So.
But so if we go back to your old neighborhood, you were born in Jamaica, though, right?
Originally, yeah.
Originally born in Jamaica,
Yeah, Kingston.
Kingston, but you've been out here,
I've been in
California, for a long time now.
now, yeah, probably 10 plus now.
Yeah.
Oh, that's it though.
That is it, because I was in Florida before that.
Oh, Florida. Okay.
You
Yeah.
don't know.
What's-
You have to make your way.
What's your favorite place that you've lived so far?
To have a favorite, it's a while, but LA's been, no, Cali has been probably the best for me,
Yeah.
just based on the environment, like nature, the type of creativity, I would say. I mean,
Yeah.
at the time, Miami, bro, like for me, when I was living in Miami, at that time, the type of music that I made and the type of things I was interested in, that it just wasn't there. Now there's Wynwood. Now they have like arts districts, and that's actually art district and not just named it.
Yeah.
So it's a vibe now. I would say that it's changed a lot. But back then, as a younger kid, having art and not having an outlet, coming here and seeing that, oh shit, I can like share my art and it's understood. I was with it, man, to be honest.
Now, we could talk about a lot of influences. We're talking about location as an influence, obviously, California, Miami. You also have family as an influence. And it is, I don't know if it's that unusual, but it feels unusual to have a family that's not only talented across many generations, but even segments of the family. I feel like the talent tree is very well stocked, right? It just there
see
just
what you
keeps
mean.
being another Marley and another Marley that
Right.
just keeps like how is it? Is that genetics? Like because
It's
people are
talent
growing up in different
genetics.
places. How is it happening? Yeah,
I'd say the creative spirit, right, is the spirit, yeah. So we all have that creative spirit. I think everybody has that in them. It's just our family is a creative family. So as a kid, you're getting to be creative. You know, a lot of kids, if your family's a doctor, you're not getting to be creative, even though you want to be. So I think it's just about the fact that, you know, everyone is creative, but our family is just, that's what it is. We're known for that. We're known for being creators.
okay.
So the in the growing up of that, it's like you're getting to create from a young age. You were never told you can't paint on this wall. You know what I mean? Like, you get in trouble,
Yeah.
but you worked off of your own like creative influence as well, and imagination too. So I would say that's probably the biggest difference. Is like, no matter how far apart people do live, it's just that whole thing that, yo, we know where we come from, and we know what makes us different.
Do you have a specific memory? Because I know that's very generalized.
I mean, I get in trouble for art. Like, as far as art goes, you know, I was a kid that was tagging up I was tagging places, tagging up walls.
Yeah.
You know, at some points, I grew up with my mom mostly. The art and the way I would express my art was based on my life. So whatever that expression was, it was, you know, I would say it was graffiti at the time, and tagging and just
And
drawing.
was that out here or was that in Miami?
Miami.
Okay.
So my mom being more so like free spirited in us, me and my sister's creativity, to where it's just like not just music, other aspects of art got to be a part of my life. So I would get in trouble for that on one side, but with my mom, it would be like, yo, keep finding it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Keep finding it. So
Right.
there's that. It's a mix. It's honestly a mix.
You talk about art, but how did the music come? Because that's, to me, I mean,
So
so just to let everybody in on this, we met around music in a way
yes.
because we just happened to be staying at the same hotel like 7 years ago. And I said, "Are you going to Coachella?" And you said, "Well, yeah, I'm going to Coachella, but for a different reason than you're here at Coachella."
Right.
And we kind of, made acquaintances, and then you actually performed at one of our events, which was
Right. That was fun.
next level, fantastic.
Yeah, that was fun.
But that music, we're talking about art, we're talking about tagging. Is that something that you had to work on or to develop, or did you just open your mouth when you were 5 years old and the voice was there?
The voice. So I was a musician at first. Played
Yeah.
drums.
Okay.
Freestyle rap, rap battle in school, ciphers. Growing up in a mixture of like the DJ dancehall culture,
Yeah.
then also with the hip hop culture, but then as well being able to speak patois and also speak I would call it just a more Americanized accent of English. It made it much more vast. Like I could do both.
Right.
So I could rap or I could do it in a Jamaican style or whatever the case may be. And so for that case, the music was just naturally there. I could tell you that much.
Okay.
It wasn't really something I learned from someone.
Right.
But I had to know like, yo, I really want to do this and I want this to be a part of my life and I want to be great. So then I study and I practice and I find out who's the greats and I learn from them. And, you just get influenced by all the beautiful music that's been made, and all the other stuff around. So
You love all.
like genres,
Yeah. You really,
I do love all genres. I love all emotions, and I feel like the emotions are the genres. Yeah. So as a person, maybe I can't express my anger over a ballad.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I might need something with a little more edge to it.
Yeah.
And so I think I just view it like that. I only do what I feel when it comes to the creating of like music. So I never really thought of anything. It's like, if I feel like this is gonna come out, at the end of that, I decide like, yo, is this a song that I can see like myself actually living with and performing? Or was this just for me, just to get something off my chest?
wow. That's
And so sometimes the music is to share and sometimes it's therapy.
Now, let's say it's not about music, and I still want to stay on your family a little bit because it is, I mean, it's one of the royal families of the whole world, especially when it comes to music. But it's not just about music, because I feel like, at least, growing up listening to your grandfather,
Mhm.
and I mean, I always felt like there was something deeper. And I don't know if it's a cultural thing or if it's just your family thing and the way that maybe you carry yourself. But there's always this, you know, the one love thing, but there's just always this maybe deeper connection to, you know, being good. You know, if I put that out there, and I'm not sure the definition of that, but doing the right thing, being good and taking the right path, which is a different path than a lot of people are on.
I would say community and culture
Yeah.
is a big part of that. But also, it's also grandpa.
Yeah.
It's also that era,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
the 60s, 70s, like the changes that was happening in the world,
right.
the way people had to stand up for their rights, things they believed in. It was a bunch of great people standing up for people, their people and other people alike. And I think that being stamped now and having, so let's just say, for example,
Yeah.
if a man like Martin Luther King had music, right? Is the expression is, but it goes further, right? Than language, right? Than just a situation happening here. See, cause you have music. So grandpa and the whole movement of I'd say reggae music and what it stands for and where it's coming from, it was just a movement about not just peace and unity, but rights and truths and standing up for what you believe in. And
So let's talk about that, because I think that's really important. I like the direction that you're taking this. It was his job and their job in the 60s and 70s. But as we've seen, even in the past few years, a lot of things have changed, but a lot of things have stayed the same, right? We've had still a lot of social injustice and issues and problems, and people are still getting up and standing up the same way that we talked about 50 years ago. So how do you see this at your generation, right? Not your dad's generation, your generation of
Right.
Marleys. How do you see that this is your fight, or not even your fight, but your responsibility to continue this messaging? And what are you doing to further
Right.
that?
Well, it's not really, so it's not everybody fight, right?
Yeah,
You have to be called to it.
right.
So without that, if you're not called, you're just not called, and you can't be expected
Okay.
to do something if you're not called to it. Some people, you're talented, you make music, you make art, that's fine. Like nothing should be wrong. You don't have to be forced
Right.
because you're one of us to be about a certain thing or not. If you're called for this job, then you get called for the job. And that's just a spiritual connection that you have with the source. Only you know if you're called for it.
How do you feel? Do you feel cold?
I know me. I know these are things you don't speak on only because you respect the fact that what's going on is not you in control. And so with that respect, you don't really speak on like the fact that I can sing or like play music. The fact that I'm even here or even all of these things are a mystery to me, you know?
Oh,
We're gonna get real deep.
You get me? It's all mystery. It's just like you're following the flow of life.
Right.
And within that flow for me is like just staying in tune to know, because there's moments when you know you're a part of the mission, but are you doing your job? Because it could get taken away. Do you know what I mean? Talent is just talent. Don't last forever if you're not doing the right things with it.
wow.
So
Do you feel that your talent, no matter what we're talking about, is God-given, and if not used, may not be there for you to tap into?
yeah, I look at talent like soil. We could just walk on it, or we could plant seeds in it and what. But you could plant seeds and not water it, or you could plant seeds and water it. But then you cannot give it any light. So there's so much to do to see something grow. You can't just do one of the steps. You really have to do all the steps in order for it to flourish.
What are you doing right now? What seeds are you
Oh my
planting, and how
days.
are you watering them, and how
Mad
are they
things,
growing?
bro. So honestly,
Well,
so
get
much,
me excited about what
so
you're
much
doing
cool-
in your farm right
I'm
now.
gonna tell you so much cool things going on. My project, the first project I'm gonna release, is done. So we've just been releasing singles over the past 2 months, and looking forward for that release because it'll be the first thing, but it'll also be something special to me to kind of get this music out to start sharing so much of the other music that's there as well.
Okay.
I think of it like this, where I want to lead off a certain way. There's no right way, but this is just my method. Like, let me lead off with this vibe
Yeah.
so I can introduce you to so much more.
What's the first one we're gonna be hearing from? Like, what's the?
I would say the overall vibe of this one is gonna be like more R&B rap.
Okay.
I would say.
Nice.
Yeah, more R&B rap with like specifically 2 songs that are Afrobeat like dancehall Afrobeat, 2 songs.
Fine.
But like there's 2 of those on the record, and the rest of it is more like R&B rap. A lot of live instrumentation and just like flavors. I mean, I still feel like it still has the root of my existence, which is Jamaica,
Yeah.
and I still feel like it has that energy. But it's not reggae. But it's me. That's really what's important about this project.
Well, now let me say this: you're not an old guy. You're a pretty young guy. Maybe for the music world, you're somewhere in the middle, right? You're not young. You're not old.
I feel like that's rough for them. They think I'm like 21. So I love it.
We're not. You're grown. But I guess my question is, you've been in the music industry long enough where it's changed a lot,
Okay.
right? Distribution has changed a lot.
Yeah.
And to give you the example I'd give you is when you're riding a wave like this movie that's come out and it's
Okay.
doing so well.
Right.
You have a cousin, I guess, maybe a second cousin on
'Cause
TikTok.
that's my first cousin.
First cousin on TikTok
That's my little bro.
that just went from like 0 to hero in the matter of weeks because of one song
Right.
on TikTok.
Right.
So I'm not gonna ask about that specifically.
YG. My G. Gang.
Yeah. So, but no, that is a phenomenal what's happened there. How do you look at TikTok and social media when you're planning this? Because the song picked up there, does the right thing, especially people are searching Marley. Boom, you got an overnight sensation, right?
For me, man, you don't know. It's like this, right? Following the crowd is a bad idea. You know what I mean?
Well, it doesn't feel authentic to you.
That should be on a t-shirt.
So I mean, that's what I'm saying. What worked for the next person is that everybody individually different, and then the music. We're talking about music,
Yeah.
and everybody's music have a different reason. So when your music finds its home, then that purpose it just grow. So eventually the music will find where it's supposed to be. TikTok and that works, I would say, tremendously, especially for creatives like myself, because you could just share a part of it.
It's
and
it's just a piece.
Yeah, and that part of it is going viral, and this is amazing. But the truth about that is as well, the people really only like that part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
then
so
they hear the whole song and they're not
It gets kind of messy because like I've had friends who've gone viral on TikTok, and you know, I love my friends and I love their music, but they'll be performing and they're on tour giving their all and trying to sing their song, and they're trying to have crowd participation, but the only part the crowd wants is the part that they know from
It's
TikTok.
the 15 seconds
When you're
TikTok.
singing the next part, they're just quiet. They're just up there like, can you go back to the chorus?
All right, let me ask you a tough question here. This is a really hard question. You ready?
Bro, if it's not hard, I'm
It's
getting out
hard.
the car.
All right, you ready?
Running on the street.
I know.
Music or football?
Football.
Football
Yeah.
over music.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What?
football is life, huh?
What?
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Poet, Mr.
You wanted a poetic one for that?
There's a lot of poetry in football. Come on.
Football. I say football only because this is what I told someone even the other day. They asked, that's my first love, yeah.
Yeah.
And it being that music, I already have music in me. Football is something I have to train for.
Right.
I had to, you know what I mean? Like,
A skill. Okay.
yeah, it's like
Not the
it's
aggression, maybe. Or,
no. I love being a baller. Honestly, like I'm really good. You know, any teams out there
Aaron,
that
you know we're
want.
talking about like soccer, football?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Because you said aggression, and I was like,
No, we're not talking about head trauma.
not talking about.
okay, good.
No, I love that, Aaron. I
Oh, the
love
running-
that.
Soccer. Okay.
Soccer,
I
football.
see.
Soccer, football.
No, but you probably cleared that up for a lot of the people listening, because a lot of people don't call it football.
Okay, so yeah, we do call it football, but it is soccer here still.
Yeah.
Soccer, football. Maybe we could call it that.
Who's your team other than the national team?
Other than national teams, my team, I would say La Liga, Barcelona. Not
Yeah.
doing too good right now.
Barca's always fun.
Always fun. I love Barca for just having Ronaldinho, Thierry Henry.
I got to see Messi there when he was 20,
Bro, that's crazy.
and he scored 2 goals.
I know
on
the
my
game. I know
end.
the game you're talking
Yeah,
about. I know the game you're talking about. The funny thing is, you know, they were just here with
Yeah.
Miami FC, and I really wanted to be there to see Messi, bro, but I didn't get to go. Did you go?
No, I didn't
No,
get
but
to
we
go.
should all go
I
to a
wanna
game.
I would love it.
We should go to a game.
Actually, you know what? A guest that we had last week
Yeah.
was on a show about football
Okay.
on Ted Lasso. He was the
Wick.
goalkeeper.
Oh, for real?
Van Damme, Zorro, Thierry was his character.
Yeah.
And I actually met him at an LAFC game
Okay.
right over here, and he was with Danny Alves from that show, The Football Is Life.
Yeah.
So I got to meet all of those
So you
guys
met
from
Danny
the show.
Alves. That's
yeah,
crazy.
it was pretty cool.
That's a wicked.
But I would love to. I love football in general. That's the reason I say that. I started watching it only in maybe 2002
Yeah.
for that World Cup. So
You're right.
22 years.
But since then, hooked.
And then as soon as I saw that World Cup, I was like, this is the best sport in
It's
the
a
world.
beautiful game, man.
And I'm more of a World Cup fan. I mean, I'll watch La Liga, Serie A,
No, you want that
Bundesliga,
movement,
but
no.
I like the.
that energy is different.
Oh, it's something else, right?
And you know, so that means we're going to games when they come to the States.
Oh, yes.
It's up.
Oh, for sure. That's done.
Yeah, I'm working on, so within football, like I'm working on a collaboration with Umbro. We're
Okay.
doing like a capsule collab.
Nice.
And then I'm doing a lot of community work with LA Galaxy. So we just spoke at a middle school last Thursday, actually, or it was Friday. And then doing things like that. And then we did a clinic with LA Galaxy.
So you're a
for the
Galaxy
kids.
fan, just saying that here in LA or LAFC?
I'm gonna say this, right?
Yeah.
I'm a fan of the originator. See, to me, it's about this. It's
Yeah.
it's about keeping the things that started things
Yeah.
and actually feeding it as well. Like LAFC is taking over
Oh,
100%.
have you been to one of the games?
No, but the movement is wild.
You have to
Do
go.
you know what I
to-
mean? It's
So we've been to a lot. I've been to football matches all around the world, right?
Yeah.
I saw juniors in Boca Juniors
Wicked.
in Argentina.
Okay.
Mad.
That's
just
epic. No, that's a
madness.
different. They're burning down the
Different,
field.
it's scary to be there.
Yeah,
Trust
yeah,
me.
yeah.
They're like
Trust-
they're throwing live chickens
No,
on the
trust me,
field.
it's
There's
dangerous.
smoke. It's dangerous, right? So I've been there. We've been to Arsenal. We've been to Portugal, to Sporting. We've been to a lot of places to watch it. But LAFC, man,
was
their
epic.
fans are, and I've been to Galaxy games.
Yeah.
LFC fans,
Moving.
it's a
definitely.
movement, man. It's they don't stop. They're going the entire game. It
think-
was madness.
I think the team came up with social media.
Yeah.
So it's different.
Yeah.
And I just felt like with my respect for football, I
Yeah.
just felt like it was important for me to give back to Galaxy,
yeah.
and do work with them because they did start this thing here.
Hey, we
And-
gotta have you gotta have different sides here. I'm glad that you picked a side because there's a lot of people. You can't say Lakers or Clippers and say I like them both.
I gotta work with that because when I was young, and I know about Kobe Jones,
Yeah.
and I know about first of all knowing about MLS and not caring about it because it wasn't that good of football.
Yeah.
Then seeing it grow over the years, and then just knowing how important football is for me and the world, and wanting it to be that important here as well. My
Right.
movement with Galaxy is more so a movement to bring football to communities that don't know football. So kids who would never play the sport, I'm bringing that to the hood. You get
And
me?
it should be. And the reason it's the most popular sport in the world is because no matter where you live,
Right.
you need a ball.
That's it.
Nothing else.
You don't even need shoes.
And you don't even need a really good ball. You could probably make one out of tape if you had to.
Easy.
But like that's all you need. And it's one of those few sports that transcends every age group. You don't need to have a traveling team and
Right.
coaches
Right.
and all this in a big field.
Right.
You just need a street and a
Bro,
ball
there's
and you're
60-year-olds
playing. Right?
There's 60-year-olds playing in leagues still. Like they have the 60-year-old league, 50-year, over 30 league, under. So it's a beautiful thing to be a part of. And as I said, back to the community, bro. Like the biggest part of what's gonna happen, and you're gonna see it since you're watching football a lot, is it is gonna start taking over the industry here. And in order to be ahead of that is that's my mission.
That's good.
Because we know what's coming. I know what's coming with football.
Well, we're back. That was so much fun. Bam.
It's
Thank
like-
you so much for giving us your
I
time
appreciate
today. That
that.
was genius.
For
Man, I
sure.
didn't know we had this much
He
love
is
of
a
football.
poet.
We need to like connect and just talk about that.
No, we should. We should.
All right,
I would
man.
love to. I would
All
love
right.
to.
Good
My
talking
G.
to you. Let me get this turned off. And thank you so much for joining us, everybody. We'll see you next time on Locals Only.
All right, my G. Love.
Thank you so much for joining us today. I really appreciate the conversation we had with Bam. Thank you so much for coming. I want to thank everyone at Straw Hut Media, including our executive producer, Ryan Tillotson, and our editor and producer, Parker J. Hicks. And as always, a big thank you to Fletcher Jones Motor Cars in Newport Beach for providing this beautiful Mercedes-Benz EQE to be our rolling podcast studio. Join us next time on Locals Only, where you can buckle up and go for a ride in our mobile podcast studio with some of the coolest people in Southern California.